Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So for this week's decoration, I'm going to be doing an autumn leaves themed week. So if you want to see how this one came together, then just keep watching. Alright, so I struggled with what to do this week for a little while because the next couple are going to be reasonably sort of big and over the top. So I didn't know if I wanted to do something big and over the top or if I just wanted to go simple. Decided to just, have some fun. So I have here, first of all, I need to say thank you to my friend Wendy, who gave me the idea for this. She said falling autumn leaves, and I went, I have a beautiful Pretty Pink Posh stamp and die set and stencil that I haven't used yet, and I don't know why I haven't used it, so let's use it. So this is the Pretty Pink Posh Falling Leaves stamp set. You can see here I've got 12 little leaves, and I have 12 little leaf die cuts. I also have a stencil that'll help me kind of colour all of these in. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to start off with stamping these out. So I'm going to put them into my Misti. I think I'll do 2 pages. This is actually just white printer paper. It's not even cardstock. I don't need it to be thick. It doesn't need to stand on its own. It doesn't need to be anywhere but in my planner. So let's do it simple. And I do find that I get really nice results when I'm blending on this. So we'll grab all of our little leaves and I'm just going to pop them down on here. I'm going to put them as close together as I can, knowing that I still need to get the dies around them, because I want to be able to do, if I can do 2 by just sort of flipping the page around, I would love to do that. So we'll just pop these down and we'll see how we go. Yes, can definitely pop those on one sheet. So I've got that in the corner. What you could do also, if you wanted to make this really easy, is you could put your Misti in here, stamp these with the, actually, it just makes stenciling them a lot easier. Yeah, okay, let's do that instead. Sometimes I'm really clever and I think of things all by myself. So I'll pop these in and we'll line these up this way instead. No, I'm not going to, and I'm not going to because I feel like I'm going to be spending way too much time getting that done. So I'm just going to put these back again. I should have sort of thought about that first. I'm going to put these back again, but just know that is an option. You could do it that way. You could just stamp them where the stencil sits and do it so you get them all in one hit. Probably this way is a little bit less structured than the other way, but that's okay. I'm still going to be able to put 2 on one page. So I'm going to stamp these out, flip it, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do some inking. Alright, so I stamped those out with Hero Art's Intense Black ink. Doesn't smudge on me most of the time, so I'm pretty happy to go with that. And that's what I've ended up with. What I am going to keep handy is just this one that's got sort of which is what. So if I'm struggling, I can just sort of go, okay, well, that's the stencil that I need. So I'm just going to bring up my station because I just find it much easier to ink blend on here. And then I'm just going to grab the stencil out. We're going to have some fun. So there we go. So that's 3, which is this one. So I'm just going to line these up with each other. And then what I've got over here, and I'm going to do this really fast because, it's okay. I've got 6 colours here that I think are sort of autumn colours. So I've got Wild Honey, Peel Paint, because I always like to have green still in autumn. Rusty Hinge, which will give me a nice little bit of dark orange. Lumberjack Plaid, I just love it. Gathered Twigs for a bit of brown. And then something brighter, I've got some Spiced Marmalade. I don't have any yellow. Oh, yes I do, Wild Honey. Actually, let's switch Wild Honey for Fossilized Amber because I just want it to be a little bit brighter. That's better. I'm just looking at the colours and going, yeah, that's what I want. And what I want to do is be really random about this. I don't want to be really careful because I don't need to be. Like, autumn leaves are the best things ever because you can be very, very, what's the word I'm looking for here? You can be very random and unprecise with them because they are just brilliant for that. Like, there's no precision to autumn leaves. So just grabbing a couple of post-it notes here just to protect everything else while I'm doing this. And I'm going to use my little mini Simon Says stamp brushes. So I've got my orange, my yellow. I use my pink for red because I have another pink here. So that's red in my head. And I'm just going to randomly pick. Sometimes I wish I had a bigger sort of setup. That's ridiculous, I know, because I have plenty of room. But so I've got all my inks at the top. I'm going to move my pages out of the way so they don't get dirty, as they've already got dirty, so it's not an issue. So I've got all my inks at the top here. And I'm just going to sort of pick random colours and just blend away and just sort of see what we end up with. So obviously this is going to take me a little while, and that's okay. I've got no problem with that. I'm just going to sit here and blend. And we'll bring some orange in. Oh, look at that. See, this is what I mean. I don't have to be precise, or I don't have to be fancy about anything I do with these, because they're just so easy to make look gorgeous. Oh, I forgot my green. So I'm just going to go ahead and move these around and ink blend all of my different leaves, and I'm going to do them in lots of different ways. And when I come back, I'm going to have 24 gorgeous leaves. Alright, 24 beautiful leaves. How good are they? Oh, I love leaves. I love autumn as a general rule. I'm going to put that away. But I am, before I put all of this stuff away, I'm going to put my blending brushes away, so I don't need that. On the side here, I have all of my gorgeous, what's the word I'm looking for? Overflow. We'll go overflow. That's probably not the right word. But rather than letting it go to waste and not using the ink, I'm just going to grab some of my mixed media paper. And you know, if I was organised, I would have done this first. But I'm just going to cut it down into a little strip. And I'm just going to water all of that and just pick it up, because I don't want to let that go to waste. And it just looked so beautiful there. Now, I might not like what I get. Actually, that's not bad. I'm just going to try and pick up a little bit of more. Yeah. Sometimes just a little bit of what's left over is really good too. There we go. I'm not going to do anything with that now, but I'm just going to put it off to the side, because I can use that in a card or in a background or something else. And then just something that I have recently discovered. Cleaning stencils with isopropyl alcohol is just brilliant. It's so much easier than taking it to the sink. Now, if you put like stencil paste on here or put something thick, highly recommend going and washing it properly. But if you're just using, especially oxides, but any kind of ink, rub it over with the isopropyl and it's fine. And, you know, get high off the fumes, just a little bit. So I'm really quickly going to cut these out. The dies match from here. I only have to do 2 runs through if I'm clever, maybe 3. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these out, and then we're back and we'll start decorating. Alright, so I've got all my gorgeous leaves here. God, they're so pretty. Part of me doesn't actually want to use them, but they're absolutely stunning. So what we'll do in a minute, we'll come back to those. I'm just going to take off all of my little bits and pieces here because we need to take them off. But I am going to end up using this. I wasn't planning on it, but I feel like they're going to make perfect days of the week, or like the like date covers. So I'm going to leave the March and the March-April thing at the top. I think that's okay. They can stay as they are. But I am going to do the dates on that piece of paper that we picked up all the ink on. So I'm just going to hit this really quick with the heat tool because this isn't quite dry, and then we can start stamping. That's nearly dry, so that'll just sit there for a minute while I work this out. So I think I'm going to bring in this one. This is an oldie but a goodie from Lawn Fawn. It's the Plan On It calendar stamp set. And what I think I'll do is put the days and then the date next to it because I've got the little dots. So I think I can do this. And I'm going to try and line up as much of it because I only have to cut it once. So I've got to really quickly change my Misti out, and I'm going to set this up to stamp on these, and then we're going to come back and put this all together. Definitely feels like one of those weeks where it's a bit of everything and a bit of movement and a bit hard, but I feel like it's going to be so worth it in the end. Alright, so the setup took a little bit, but now that it's set up, it's very, very easy. So we're just going to grab that same black ink we used before. I could have moved it over or had it more in the middle so I didn't use as much room here, but quite honestly, I don't mind. Biggest thing's going to be when I cut these out, and this is why I gave it such a big gap, is I need to make sure that I've got enough room to be able to cover the dates that I've already got. I am still trying to decide what I'm going to do with the March, like with the top, because I feel like I need to do something. I might ink it. We'll see. We'll see. So there we go. There's those. And the good thing is that I did cut this, well, like I think I've done it kind of well, that I've lined up this side so that I know all of these are in the same place. So then I can just trim down however tall I need them to be. So I think, if I remember correctly, that my ones on my page are about 1 millimetre, not a millimetre, 5 millimetres, half a centimetre, you know, words. So half a centimetre is like 3/4 of an inch, which is annoying. I feel like if I just put it there, and then it's kind of annoying because I can't just go straight down, but I'm just going to trim it all out so that I've got the top of the number is it sort of at the where my guide is, and that way I can sort of at least get these to be all the same height, and then I'll come back for the width, because what I can do is flip it upside down. Alright, and that's going to be perfect. So I'm just going to trim it. I'm actually even going to help myself out here. Take the guide off for a sec, make sure that's way out of the way. And then I'm going to put my little bit of tape here right on the edge of where my cutter is, or where the blade is. And then I can just chuck them in. I don't have to look, I don't have to line it up. I do have to put the guide back in. There we go. And I can just go like that. Sorry, that way. And bingo, it's going to be the right size. So I'm going to go ahead and cut all of these and also cut them down width-wise. And I will be right back. Dates cut. They're all slightly different lengths, but that's okay. And then I've got all my leaves. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to blend. No, you know I'm not. I'm going to just put my dates in. I'm just going to stick them in. They work fine. I'm just going to start putting these away. Part of me wants to do splatter, part of me doesn't. I'll work out when I've got this down if I'm happy with not having splatter or not. I'm just going to grab all of these. Whoops, missed. Bit of glue tape on the edge of all of them, and then just stick them down. I'm going to say in their normal spots. And then we'll come back for the leaves. Alright, so I've got my days in. I'm going to just put the leaves. Let's just sort of drop them on and just see where they fall. Like, I probably could have done these like just stenciled straight on, but I haven't used this stamp set before, so I didn't want to just go straight to the page in case I mess something up. But I'm just going to randomly drop them's not quite the right word because I'm doing more than dropping them. I'm placing, but just trying to make sure I don't have too many ones sort of in the same spot. And what I am going to do is see if I can cover the dates at the top. And then I'm also going to use some of these other ones sort of on the edges so that I can cut some off and use a bit more, if that makes any sense. As you can see, I'm not paying any attention to sort of what's already there. And we'll just work around them when we get to it. Yeah, look, I did it all without thinking. I just want to flip those two. And then a couple of these ones that are hanging off the edge. I haven't fully covered up the March, April up here. I don't think I can. I think it's too long. I just don't think there's a leaf big enough to do it. So I'm going to leave them in and not hide them, and that way I can get away with that. Put that there like that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stick all of these down. Again, going to take me a minute, so we'll just work on it and then I'll put the extras there and I'll be back. Alright, I love that so much. I feel like I could have very much just done this on the background, like just stamped on the background and inked it, because ink blending on my planner pages is really easy, but I love the way this is all turned out. I'm going to pop in her appointment for Thursday, her swimming lesson for Thursday, and I can just work around the leaves. It's going to be a cool week to sort of do different stuff, like to work around things. So I'm going to put that, why have I got two? Put that on Friday. And then we've got daylight savings ends. I have some appointments to chuck in. So she's got speech therapy on Thursday. And you know what, let's do it. Usually I don't write them in, but you know, I haven't done that much, so we'll just do. And then we've got physio on Wednesday night. Thursday. I'll get the day right in a minute. I just love the way that fits. And then for the mail box, because that's sort of the thing that I always tend to put in, let's just do, I'm going to stick with black. I'm just going to stick with black. And I'm just coming in underneath this leaf, or next to this leaf, and I'm just going to draw in a little box. I'm just going to make sure I don't not run parallel with that line, because that would look awful. And then I kind of like that the leaves are sort of in the way of the box, if that makes sense. It just sort of sits in the right spot. This is what I end up doing most of the time anyway, is just putting little hand-drawn boxes. And I think that's enough. I'm glad I didn't do the spatter. I feel like the spatter would have kind of overwhelmed this. So I like that it's just that. And it's not simple by any stretch, but it's also not, it wasn't that difficult. I think the part of it that I don't like the most is just the march at the top, but I could have covered that up if I was a bit more clever. I just didn't really think about it. But overall, I love this. I think the leaves are great, so I definitely need to use this stamp set more often. It's absolutely stunning. I knew why I bought it, but this has just reminded me, and now I want to go and make like 50,000 autumn cards. So thank you very much to Wendy for for suggesting the autumn leaves. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it that big old thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you again in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!